Natasha Expøsēd was suspended from the Senate in March. From on the 6th of March, she has been suspended, and then they gave her 6 months suspension. She went to court to challenge the decision. The court even said that suspension was too harsh and that she should be reinstated, but Senate not going to reinstate her. The last day when Senate sits before they go on recess, because they don't recess since, in fact, as we talk, they sit on recess. That is, they went on holiday break. Natasha tried to resume, but the Senate blocked the Senate and they don't let her in. Long story short, if you count when she was suspended till now, it don't pass 6 months. The suspension took effect March 6th, April 6th, May 6th, June 6th, July 6th, August 6th, September 6th, 6 months. Today, it's on the 9th of September, so we're on 6 months and 3 days. Anyway, long story short, she don't write letter to the Senate. The clerk of the Senate saying, okay, she my 6 months don't expire. I want to resume. See the response to the Senate give her back. Response to notice of resumption by the office of the clerk to the National Assembly. I am directed to acknowledge the receipt of your letter notifying this office of your intention to resume sitting and other legislative duties in the Senate on the 4th of September 2025, which you claim is the date of expiration of the 6-month suspension imposed on you by the Senate. I am further directed to inform you that your suspension was with effect from Thursday, 6th of March 2025, and draw your attention to the fact that the subject matter of your suspension is presently before the Court of Appeal. The matter therefore remains sub judice, and until the judicial process is concluded and the Senate formally reviews the suspension in the light of the court's pronouncement, no administrative action can be taken by this office to facilitate your resumption. You will be duly notified of the Senate's decision on the matter as soon as it is resolved. Please accept, distinguished Senator, the assurances of my highest regard. Yaya Danzaria, PhD Esquire, AG, clerk to the National Assembly. So they are telling her that the case they court. And until the court make a pronouncement, the Senate cannot take any decision on your suspension. The power where Senate supposed to fight bad governance. Power where Senate supposed to fight excessive borrowing of money. Power where Senate supposed to fight people where they carry our gold come on Nigeria. They use and they fight one person because the person get issue with gospel Akpabio. Normally, I will call for a movement and a protest to the House of Assembly. But if I talk now, somebody will tell me, say, I did my house, and they talk. You see, in issues like this, I cannot cry more than the bereaved. You get people where the thing affects past me. Number one, we are the people of Kogi State, our constituency. We are the day. If 3,000 people march from there now, head to the National Assembly, we go support them. Some of us will fly to Abuja. But I will not move when the people which they represent quiet. That's one. She belongs to a political party. That political party is fighting to win the next election. Most of their members are moving out, which means the ones where they get now, they're supposed to protect them. What is the PDP doing about the matter? PDP quiet. The PDP governors are keeping quiet. Now me, when the matter not because I made the vote. Now my party. Is she going to represent me? Now we go come get up, go to fight for her. Once PDP start fight and the people of our constituency start fight, Nigerians will join them. But they are keeping quiet. I really don't understand the country we're in. You stop a whole community for being represented in the National Assembly. Why? Because the person representing them have a problem with the Senate president. Does that even make sense? Yes, it makes sense in Nigeria. This is the only place where matters like that can make sense. Thirdly, we are the human rights activists. Where is the Ministry of Women Affairs? If the husband and wife case now, I'll carry on for head. Abi? Gender units, where are you? If now husband and wife case now, everybody else, they are doing one of your own. You see it? See? You see how the presidency is keeping quiet. This is what they have turned our democracy to in Nigeria. Maybe they change the name of that to the practice, not be democracy anymore. Maybe they change the name, they find another name, give her. Because this is not democracy. And Natasha Expøsēd is going to wait for the court. How long will she wait? She will use on that 2 years wait. Court wait to say go and reinstate her back. They say no be waiting court talk with that. Maybe the court is supposed to interpret their judgment properly. The court is still keeping quiet. I bet when I leave Nigeria.
Hello everyone. National Assembly blocks Senator Natasha's resumption. The National Assembly says Senator Natasha Expøsēd cannot resume office despite completing her 6-month suspension. The Kogri Central Senator had written to the National Assembly notifying that her suspension had expired and indicating her desire to return to the Senate. Although the National Assembly is still on recess, the clerk to the National Assembly, in response to her letter, communicated that her suspension, which took effect on March 6, 2025, is still a pending issue in court. According to the letter sent by AIT News, until the judicial process is completed and the Senate reviews the court's pronouncement, no decision can be taken. I mean, this, as far as I'm concerned, this is a whole lot of foolery. Is that the right word? Is that how to even pronounce it? Like a whole lot of foolishness. How do you hold people captive with this kind of medieval laws that controls, where the Senate says, oh, as long as the matter is in court, you suspended someone, the suspension has lapsed, the matter is in court, you can't bring the person back until it's all resolved up until Supreme Court. Not that so you keep appealing it, and then it's not as if this issue is given an expedited process. For example, on an issue like this, so you treat it the way you also treat a tribunal issue, to say whenever this kind of case comes down to the court, then they must follow this process. They must quickly ensure that this process is followed through to for the matter to be completed within that period, so that the person can go back, right? That's what that makes sense. But for you to say that, oh no, as long as the matter is in court, so for the next 10 years, if the matter is in court, no, you're not going to do anything, right? And so, whatever it is, it's every 4 years. They have less than 2 years remaining, but I think it's June. They usually resume June. By June 2027, this whole thing, will be out, will be over, and stuff like that. So when you see, so this absolutely does not make sense. And then now they're using this legality. It's part of their, whether Senate rules or whatever. Because I've seen someone that we're having a discussion, was it some few weeks back, and he told me that this was going to be the outcome, that as long as that matter is in case, whether it's in their Senate rules and all of that, that is a very absurd rule. That is a very absurd rule. And if such rule is going to be there, then there has to be a difference and a way, a channel, a speedy channel, where the process has to be followed through, because this is something like it's a bit different. Just like I said earlier, just like you have with the electoral processes and the tribunals don't follow the normal pattern that they follow. That's why before in no time you see a case, you go from this blah 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 blah, it will get to Supreme Court and all of that. Whereas you have some cases that are taking 40 years. And so if you're going to put this kind of rule, then there has to be a law that ensures that the Senate does not have the power, whoever is in the leadership of the Senate do not have the power to now use this particular whether rule, whether law, whether whatever it is that they have, to use it to abuse the office and use it to oppress and suppress people's voices or people's rights, or people's whatever. So let me just go back to it. It says, according to the letter sent by AIT News, until the judicial process is completed and the Senate reviews the court's pronouncement, no decision can be taken. Part of the letter, signed by the acting clerk to the National Assembly, Yahaya Danzari, reads, the subject matter of your suspension is presently before the Court of Appeal. The matter therefore remains sub judice, and until the judicial process is completed and the Senate formally reviews the suspension, and in the light of the court's pronouncement, no administrative action can be taken by this office to facilitate your resumption. You will be duly notified of the Senate's decision on the matter as soon as it is resolved. Senator Natasha had earlier attempted to resume on July 12, following the Federal High Court judgment asking the Senate to review her suspension, but she was denied access, to the National Assembly. the Senate and the National Assembly had appealed portions of the judgment. So they appealed portions of the judgment. They didn't appeal the whole judgment. They chose the one they appealed on. And as long as this appeal, and even if you say the fact that there has been a judgment on the case, in a case as sensitive as this, that has time frame, that should suffice. You say, okay, use except if of course while you're going on, the case continues, in court. We can't have a situation whereby some institutions abrogate powers to themselves in a way that oppress other people's fundamental rights. The people of Kogi Central, they do deserve someone that is going to be there speaking for them, ensuring that their affairs are being taken care of. Now you have, for 6 months, they have been denied the constitutional right that they have for representation at the Senate. And then the 6 months is lapsing, and all of these things, are still coming up. The senator and the National Assembly had appealed portions of the judgment, which is currently pending before the Court of Appeal. It's always crazy. And the thing is that Akpabio feels, this is the problem of giving small-minded people opportunity. People who ordinarily never saw themselves going anywhere. When they get there, they now overuse it, because for them, they don't even realize that there is higher that they can be, and so let them do the right thing. There are other things. They feel this is the end of that opportunity, and for people like Akpabio, they feel that's the end of their opportunity for them to oppress and suppress everyone. And they're really oppressing a lot of people, not just, there have been lots of reports of, senators being oppressed. Senators can't speak. We saw the other day, senator coming to talk about, even for you to even have this thing motion read on the floor, you have to bribe with some millions of naira. A lot of people can't talk and all of that. There are a lot of senators who are even going through what Natasha is going to. Some of them was, some of them left. They can't open their mouth and speak. We just have a bunch of cowards that we elect into office. And I think it's very important for even us as a people to begin to look for, people who have courage to be the one to occupy these offices, especially National Assembly and state houses of assembly, because they're supposed to stand up to executive. This one that some people feel that they are the only ones that know how to do politics. It is their father's birthright. The rest of us, we don't know how to do politics. I don't want to do the kind of politics you're doing. It doesn't help Nigeria. If I'm going to do politics, I would do a different politics. And you might not be the one you're used to, but the one you're used to, what value has it brought to Nigeria? This whole oppressive way of not allowing people who are doing the work that they're doing, do them, as we have a gang up of incompetent, elected officials ganging up against competent ones. It's just an annoying thing that really...
Senator Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the honor of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Order 10 on privileges.
Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the contents of breach of privilege has been
allowed suspension immediately.
And order 24, rule 2A. Subject to the permission of the President of the Senate, I will read the orders.
Please read.
Order 24 2A. Order 24 stipulates the duty of the chief whip, and it reads thus: there shall be a chief whip of the Senate. The chief whip shall be a senator nominated from the party with the highest number of seats in the Senate. And 2A said, the chief whip shall maintain order and decorum in the Senate. The duty of the chief whip is to maintain order.
Growing your business online is really...
The duty of the chief whip is to maintain order and decorum. So pursuant to the jurisdiction conferred on the office of the chief whip, for which the chief whip once is desired... Okay. the Senate. Two senators.
Please.
Distinguished Chief Whip of the Senate, your point of order is sustained.
Order, please.
You're nice to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
allowed suspension immediately.
or refer.
Politics on Sunday. We're live from our studio in Abuja, the federal capital. I am Femi Akonde. Well, the past week has been quite controversial and the theater for a melodrama that kept Nigerians on the edge of their seats was the hallowed chambers of the Senate. The main characters are Senator Akpabio, the President of the Senate, and Natasha Expøsēd, representing Kogi Central. It's not my job to tell you who is the protagonist or antagonist. You can figure that out yourself, but it is also based on your perspective and the information at your disposal. There are some incontrovertible facts. One is the refusal of Senator Natasha Expøsēd to take up a newly assigned seat in the Senate and her disregard for Senate rules and procedures, which earned her the anger of her colleagues and eventual suspension, following recommendations from the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions. There was also a new twist to the plot when Senator Expøsēd presented a petition accusing the President of the Senate of sexually harassing her, even though the burden of proof now lies with the one who alleges. The matter is already in the court of public opinion, with many people approbating and reprobating. Well, today on the program, my guest is the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate. He will help us cut through the noise and put into proper context some of the events that has generated public interest and controversy. Senator Peter Onyekachi Nweboyi, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Femi, for having me.
Yes. So, there are two issues here. One is the persistent misconduct and disregard for the Senate rules, and the other is the petition submitted by Senator Natasha Expøsēd alleging sexual harassment. She was eventually suspended, and the Senate is saying that she was suspended because of the misconduct and disregard for Senate rules. But did the petition on sexual harassment play any role in all of this?
Well, thank you so much for having me to clear the coast on this very important issue. Unfortunately, the public before now have been misled into believing her. But I'm here to tell the world and Nigerians the truth. One is that this matter is not between Senator Natasha and Godswill Akpabio. The public should know this. It's between Senator Natasha and the Nigerian Senate. Because the rules were not made by Senator Akpabio. The rules has been there. The Senate President is just the presiding officer, who is saddled with the responsibility of enforcing the rules of the organization, in this case the Nigerian Senate. So let the public know this and correct it. The matter is between Senator Natasha and the Nigerian Senate.
Okay, and she was suspended because of her persistent
violation
disregard
of our rules. And I can take you there. Order 6, Rule 1, empowers the Senate President to allocate seats to senators. Very clear. Now, Order 6, Rule 2, also says that no senator will speak outside the seat allocated to he or she. Senator Natasha was given a new seat following the defection of senators from the opposition to the ruling party, thereby creating vacuum at the middle of the sitting arrangement of the opposition parties. It therefore became necessary for the Sergeant at Arms through the office of the Chief Whip to rearrange this seat. And Senator Natasha was among the last senators that entered the 10th Senate court ruling. And as such, she was at the extreme end. Now, following this seat arrangement, she was even brought closer. She was brought to the second to the last row. But surprising to all of us, she refused to assume the new seat. Maybe because of pile-up anger of a change of committee, because that is the hallmark of the whole issue.
Everybody has been saying because of the change of committee.
I'm telling you.
Is this a fact?
It's a fact. Senator Natasha,
How do you know that?
I'm coming. I will tell you why, and I have facts, verifiable ones. Senator Natasha before now was the chairman Senate Committee on Local Content, which she was comfortable with. But, you know, in the Senate, from time to time, committee leadership is changed. And hers was affected because we have a body, Senate Services, that reviews the performance of senators in their committees. So if you are still not performing well in a particular committee, you can be shifted to another committee. Where we fail, you can do well. Just like in your department here. You have so many departments, you can be shifted from one department to the other. And if you are there to serve your people, that shouldn't bother you.
So she move from local content
yes, to Committee on Diaspora.
Okay, but this also paints a picture of senators or lawmakers' preference for certain committees considered to be juicy committees.
I've told you the reason why, based on performance.
So it's not only Senator Natasha
it's not only her
that is guilty of that.
It's not only her. Senator Ningi was shifted from his committee. Senator Victor May was given a new committee. About 10 senators were affected by this chairmanship reshufflement. I can write the names and give you with their phone number. You can call them. But you know, the problem here is that Senator Natasha, I won't say she's not prepared to be a senator, but she failed to study these rules. She failed to study these rules. Senate is the highest lawmaking body in this country. Therefore, we don't just get up and do things. We do things in line with our rules and regulations, as enshrined in this order. And all the actions and steps taken by the Nigerian Senate is in line with these rules. And I can give you, some people say, why are we suspending her over for 6 months? I can tell you, Order 66, Rule 4, 8 and 12 gives us powers to extend the suspension.
Yes, you know, with this 6 month suspension, people have said, come on, it's like using a sledgehammer to kill a fly.
Yeah, but
and they also feel that it is the petition of sexual harassment that probably makes things escalate.
No, let me help you, my brother. And Nigerians should know this very well. This woman is a known blackmailer. I hope you know that.
Well, I don't know.
This is not the first time she is accusing our leaders of sexual harassment. This is a woman that when you have problem with her, she will go to that accusation of sexual harassment. She is using her gender as a weapon. This is a woman that accused Reno Mokri of sexual harassment when the young man was in U.S. This is the same woman that accused her former boyfriend, in quote, Yaya Bello, of sexual harassment. This is the same woman that accused Dino Melaye of sexual harassment. This is the same woman that accused a minister, which is yet to name, of sexual harassment. So,
a former minister came out to deny that.
That is it. So when you look at all this, you will see which of the former ministers?
The former minister of Solid Mirror, that is Kayode Fayemi, who is former governor of the
I didn't mention his name, but there is a video where she accused the minister of sexual harassment. I can send you the video. You play it to the world. You play it to the world. So this is a woman who is using her gender as a weapon. And that is a problem. Like I said in Arise, this woman is creating a very bad precedent for future Nigerian women that would like to venture into politics. Because if she understands why she's in politics, she shouldn't have been doing this. And moreover, who do you think will sexually harass a senator? We are equal. And on the same date that this incident happened, I was there from beginning to the end. We went for the birthday ceremony of the Senate President in Akwa Ibom. From the Victor International Airport, I drove with her in the same vehicle. I was sitting on the seat. She was sitting at the back with her husband, because she came with her husband. We attended about 4 or 5 functions of the Senate President within Uyo. And at the end, we returned to Ikotekpene, the hometown of the Senate President. And when it was 12 midnight, we all gathered together in his parlor and sang a birthday song for the Senate President. I can show you the video. Senator Natasha was there with her husband. At the back, I was the closest person to the Senate President.
I think I've seen some of those pictures.
I can send it to you. So there was never a time Senate President had a private chat with her. There was never a time the Senate President told her, do you like my house? I will come here to chill. And let me ask you, is only an insane man that can say so in the presence of his own wife and in the presence of the husband of the person?
Well, you know, this matter has also been referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions to return with a report in 4 weeks.
Exactly.
So why not we leave the matter to them to look into it? Because,
that is it.
You know, we expect
but
that...
She knows what she wants to achieve. She just wants to destroy the reputation of the Senate President because she lost what she felt a juicy committee. And this has been her practice.
But this matter of a juicy committee, some people say it's a sentiment shared among almost all lawmakers. Everybody wants certain kind of committees that are considered to be big and juicy.
There is no committee that is not juicy. It is your ability to use your brain. And moreover, what is juicy about it? It's for you to serve your people. It's for you to serve your people. You're not here to serve yourself. And why Senator Natasha is angry? Because she's there to serve herself and not for Kogi people. So we should understand that.
Her last word before leaving the chamber was, this injustice will not be sustained. Clearly she feels cheated and probably she didn't get a fair hearing because, you know, there was also a committee, the committee that looked into the issues of misconduct and persistent disregard for rules. She did not appear before that committee.
Why?
Because of a court judgment restraining that committee from carrying on with the probe.
That court order is a nullity. I don't want to speak on that.
Because I had the chairman of that committee saying that her lawyers probably advised her.
How can a judge give an order restraining an arm of government from carrying out their internal affairs? Can a judge restrain the NJC from punishing a judge that they felt have erred? The court cannot do that. We must observe our rules. That is it.
The principles of separation of powers.
That is it. We have not. It is only when we have acted outside the purview of our powers. That is why the court will come in. This is a matter that is before the committee, and the court knows that it's before the committee. Why not allow the committee to finish?
Okay, maybe she was misled by the court, but the fact remains that she did not get a fair hearing because she did not have the opportunity to come before that committee to defend herself.
It's her own peril. Why did she fail to appear before the committee?
Maybe her lawyers advised her not to, based on the subsistent court order.
She should carry her cross. We have suspended her, and the suspension stands for 6 months, except if tenders apology.
Well, that's 6 months. A lot of people have said it's too much, and we are seeing efforts
because of the gravity of the offense. I hope you watched the video. Pointing accusing finger on the Senate president. My dear brother, we should control our emotions. At a level of being a senator, there are things we should not do, no matter what. There are things we should not do, no matter what.
Well, and then it now seems as you said it's not between her and the president of the Senate.
It's between her and the Nigerian Senate. And I've given you the facts.
And that is why
she's using harassment issue to divert attention.
And that is why Senator Godswill Akpabio, as the presiding officer and president of the Senate, sat, presided, and deliberated over the matter on that day.
Understanding. Yes, the matter is between the Nigerian Senate and the lady in question, not the Senate president. The issue of sexual harassment she's bringing after.
That is between her and the Senate president,
which is already before a committee. And when the report will be led, another person will preside.
Okay, the Senate president will recuse himself.
Of course, it goes without saying, because you can't be a judge in your own case. We know all this. And let me re-emphasize again that she's raising this, her usual claim of sexual harassment. It's not to divert attention and the whip sentiment from the public, which is succeeding. But unfortunately, she has failed. People have seen the truth.
But you also agree that sexual harassment is a very serious issue in the society, and law enforcement agencies, even the Senate, the National Assembly, have made laws against these issues and to protect the rights of women.
We are against it, and herself as a senator should be in the vanguard to implement the law, not for you to use it as a weapon against a man, an innocent man. A man that is old enough to be your father. Number 3 man in the country, which means one day she will accuse President Tinubu. Maybe if she seeks for favor from President and she didn't get it, say, President Tinubu is harassing me sexually. This is madness. And Nigeria should rise against this. Because today it is between her and Akpabio. Tomorrow is between her and another person. When we see a habitual liar, a habitual blackmailer, we should stand against it for us to have a normal society. This type of person shouldn't be in the Senate. She belongs somewhere.
Well, she was voted by her people.
Let's see what happens in the election.
She won.
Yes,
she won that election
because the people didn't know her character. But now she has brought her character to the poor view of the public.
Well, that's for the people of Kogi Central, because they may not agree with you when you say this kind of person should not be in the Senate.
Until then,
she represents her people, the people of Kogi Central. But now let's move on to something else.
And again, her offense does not stop her. This is a lady, by our rules, when the presiding officer and the principal officers are entering the plenary, every senator is expected to stand up. But this is a lady that will sit down.
Has she been doing this, or
she started
when her seat was changed?
She has been doing this.
Refusing to stand up in reverence of the principal officers.
She has been doing that. Even if she did it when the issue arose, that is duplicating your offense. 2 wrongs cannot make right. The law is clear. The law is not made for you alone. It's made for all of us. Whether you like the presiding officer or not, you should rise and respect the office. It's not the person, but the office. Because tomorrow she can be Senate president. She can be governor. She can be anything God wants her to be. And she will demand and command that respect. We should respect the institution. And that goes to your qualification to be there. Because if you are there, you should keep your personal interests aside and respect the institution you have found yourself. If you have any issue, for example, on the same day, if she had resumed her seat, she would have still raised any issue she wanted to raise. Maybe not being happy with the way the seat was changed. She would have still had the opportunity to do that. But unfortunately, this lady is out to destroy Nigerian Senate. But we must resist it.
You know, some people have said what happened is like deja vu, because she was suspended in March, in the month of March, considered as a a month for women. March 8 is
What do you mean by
March 8
what
is.
do you mean by that?
Maybe that's why we're seeing.
What do you mean
That's
by
why we're
that?
seeing a lot of women advocacy group are now coming out in her defense and criticizing the Senate because they say you just have about 4 women in the Senate and suspending Natasha Expøsēd reduces the voice of women. Maybe that's why we're seeing this criticism.
When we are making these rules, we didn't take into account Women's Day celebration. Women's Day celebration is not in our law. It's the international program. It's not in our rules. So if you breach our rules, even on the day of Women's Day celebration, the law will still take its course. For example, if you commit crime on the day of independence, would they say, today is Nigerian independence, so why are you arresting this one on the Independence Day, day of Nigerians celebrating their independence? That argument is fallacious, please.
Yeah, because, the Senate would have to do some kind of, or give some kind of now reassurance to women, because the picture painted is as if, the Senate is against
have you seen
the
any
interest
woman
of the
senator
women.
that is with Natasha? Have you seen one speaking in favor of Natasha? This is a woman with bad character. Nobody wants to associate with her.
Well,
even at the plenary, did you see any dissenting voice?
Well, let's.
I'm asking you.
No, let's speak to the issues instead of maybe attacking her person.
But her person comes in now.
Let's talk more about the issues.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I know you've all spoken about this issue passionately, and also you said she came in. The Senate President himself said, she came in through the court, so she didn't really pass through the orientation process.
We gave her the rules of Senate. Upon taking an oath to be a senator, this is the first document that you have. And they're expected to go through it from A to Z, so that you understand the norms.
Well, that also points to a problem. It is only when senators are elected, maybe at the beginning of a new democratic dispensation, that they go through that orientation. When we also know that some senators along the line might lose their seats due to court cases. Yes. So there's no provision for new senators coming in to be trained and properly have the orientation and an understanding of the Senate. Beyond the books, we know there's the Nigerian Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies.
These same senators have attended even internationally summits on the business of Senate. She has been in Geneva, IPU. She has been in so many international organizations, that conducted seminar for senators. She's the most traveled senator.
The most traveled senator.
The most traveled senator.
She also raised an issue about not being put on foreign trips and certain privileges with her.
How can she say so? I can give you in writing the trips she has taken on. I can tell you. I can put in writing, not in words. I can give you in writing. Up to over 10 trips internationally. This lady. Even me, I don't have such opportunity as a principal officer. But because we want to behave in a gender-friendly manner, that is why Senate President have always featured her and other female senators.
Yeah, and Senator Eretikinkibe said she's the most privileged, even among the female senators.
Thank you.
So why the preference for Senator Natasha Expøsēd?
Because of the relationship with the husband. The husband is a friend of the Senate President.
Some people will say that's nepotism.
No, it's not nepotism.
Giving her special preference because the Senate President has a relationship with her husband, putting her ahead of other
senators have also been enjoying foreign trips, including Senator Kigebe.
But she is the most privileged because of relationship with her husband.
Of course, that is the way it is.
And that's a sign of weakness on the part of Senator Akpabio.
It's not a sign of weakness.
It is.
If you feel that she will do well in such international organization, and going by the fact that she is a lawyer, so she may have advantage over others. And lawyers are being treated differently in international organizations because you understand better the international treaties and what is being discussed there. So that may form the reasons for her, traveling more than other senators outside the relationship between the husband and the Senate President.
Well, some people again have said, during the whole controversy about sitting arrangements and all of that, we saw some very senior senators, ranking senators, who decided to just stay silent and not even contribute or maybe put things in proper perspective and come up or stand up to speak to guide the chamber.
No, that is not correct. You can see even the minority leader, who is a ranking senator, left his seat to the lady to tell her that what she's doing is wrong. You can see Senator Sitangu doing same. You can see Senator Akpabio doing same. You can see, can't you see the video, the facts speak for itself? And that is why on the day of her suspension, nobody stood by her.
Was it unanimous?
It was unanimous. I was not dissenting for it.
Okay, we know that Senator Sēçrēt Dixon was not in the Senate on that day. He was attending
It's
a retreat.
It's immaterial. There was no retreat. The chairman of the retreat was in chamber. Maybe she had other engagement. And moreover, that is 1 out of 109.
I understand.
So it's immaterial. Whether he's in support or not, it's immaterial. The majority will have their way. And there's never a time Senator Dixon will support this. He's among those that condemn the action of Senator Natasha and approach her as a member of the minority to tender apology. But she refused. And the man have approached her even a few days back. I can show you the video. Being a leader, he's a former governor. He understands the rules of the game. He's a ranking senator. He led some senators to her house. I can show you.
I've seen some of
to realize that you can't prove the impossible. You can't prove the impossible. You have erred is that you have erred. And the only remedy is to say, my people, I don't know what led me into this. I'm sorry. That settles it.
Well, we've seen the Minister of Women Affairs now saying that she would reach out and try to interface with the leadership of the Senate to see if she can prevail on them to maybe reconsider Senator Akpabio, Senator Natasha Expøsēd's suspension, if maybe it can be reduced or if her sins can be forgiven.
If you read prayer 2 of the suspension prayers, it is there that is within this period of suspension, she realizes her mistake and tenders apology. Senate will forgive her. Remember, we are like a family. We are there to serve Nigeria. In fact, it pains me that we are using the time we would have been using to educate Nigerians on what we are doing to discuss irrelevant issues. But it's necessary so that people will know. We are here to make laws for Nigerians. We are here to formulate policies that will guide the executive towards giving Nigerians good governance. That is our work. Not to discuss a lady who is known for blackmailing people. Well, unfortunate.
You said blackmailing people, and now it's her against Senator Akpabio, the presiding officer. Do you feel she's being used by certain
she's being used by the opposition now, it's very clear.
By the opposition here in the Senate?
Of course. She's being used by the opposition outside the Senate.
Okay, not inside the Senate?
Not inside the Senate.
What do they want?
They want to destabilize the Senate. An opposition will always look for a way to distract the government. It's normal. You can see what the former Senate president says, Senator Saraki. We expected him to advise the lady. He has been a presiding officer. And when the current presiding officer, Senator Akpabio, acted this way, he resisted him and insisted that he does the right thing. And Senator Akpabio, being a normal person, realized his mistakes and tendered public apology in the chamber. So we expected the former Senate president to directly advise the lady that what she's doing is against the rules of Senate. But he abandoned the issue to start playing to the gallery, playing politics. But it's very unfortunate that leaders at that level can reduce themselves to such level. Very unfortunate.
We've also seen statements from former Vice President.
You have seen it. That is that those are the people
in support of Natasha
Expøsēd. That is the leader of the opposition in Nigeria. Don't you know that? But we are not disturbed.
But why are they after Senator Akpabio?
Because there's an opportunity. This scenario is an opportunity. Because they have seen that the government of APC, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is doing well and is correcting the anomalies we had in our economic sectors. You can see the price of goods are coming down. Price of petroleum are coming down. Things are getting better. So they have nothing else to speak against APC. So they can only lay hand on this trivial matter to make news. But unfortunately, we're ahead of them.
All right, then. A fine place to leave it, Senator Peter Onyekachi Unwemboyi, Deputy Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate. Thank you for helping us put this matter into proper perspective.
Thank you, Femi.
My people, matter full ground. Like, wetin come be the reason wey make dem come dey shift the Natasha Expøsēd resumption? Na im we never still know, because on a normal time e don reach wey she suppose resume office, because they suspended her. This very month makes it 6 months wey dem say her suspension go last. Not until when she went for clearance from the court so that she go resume, they start dey say dem dey for summer holiday, this, that. But so many people don dey give options, say the only way out now na make she file fresh case against Akpabio so that make she fit resume. If not, they go continue to dey suspend and before you know, 1 year. Now wow, Nigeria my country, it is well. Nothing wey we no go see, nothing wey we no go hear. My people, make una come chook mouth put inside this matter wey dey ground. Wetin be una take?